Okay, question of the day. What are you looking forward to that's happening soon? New Year's Eve, I think. I think I am looking forward to New Year's Eve because I have something planned for my YouTube channel that I should actually probably start shooting soon because I'm gonna have to edit it. Um, but it's basically just gonna be a questionnaire like they do. I think, well, Billie Eilish has done it, and other YouTubers have done it. But basically, at the beginning of the year, I want to ask myself, um, some questions, right? About like, I think I have a list of like how I'm doing, like what have I done this year, what's happened, blah blah blah. Basically, like an end of the year kind of thing to begin the new year.
Every journey can use an experienced guide.
But every year, every New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, whatever I choose to put it on, gonna end up asking myself the same questions again. So basically setting myself for the future, and hopefully I can see either a progression or um what's the opposite of progression? Whatever. What the opposite of did that I did nothing productive. So maybe I can try that out and see where it goes from there, because the thing that has prevented me, well, yeah, prevented me from going where I want to go or do the things that I want to do is because I've never really prepared for the future or planned for the future. And I've always lived in the now, which is good overall, if you want to be, I guess, um in a happier state of mind, is being in the moment and stuff, but I do want to start planning more for the future. So even before this New Year's, I started um writing down a schedule for myself just to keep me doing things instead of like doing things but without a purpose. Like before, I used to just always get off around like 7 or 8 p.m. my time, and I would just turn on my TV and browse YouTube until like, I don't know, 10 o'clock, and then I shower and then go to bed. And then at bed, I read the as much news as I can on Google News and the Google app, and then I fall asleep. So I mean that's been going good because that time it's making me have a better regular sleep schedule, and it has made me more productive because I'll wake up at on time, and then I wake up, I make breakfast, walk my dog, eat. Well, I don't eat until like 11, whatever. But yeah, waking up and making a schedule for myself is starting to help. So I want to schedule more. Like I want to schedule in like specific piano practice hours, a ukulele, or read a book within this hour, half an hour. Um, like I work out or do a small exercise at 10 o'clock every day, and it's been helping me improve. So yeah, it's funny how I went all the way from looking. What are you looking forward to that's happening soon? And it's New Year's Eve, so hopefully the new year brings better perspective of things. Because this year, as we all know, was fucking um, it was hard. Back in March of this year, I was still living. Well, in September, I moved back home to Boston, where I am now. I was living in LA for 3 years at the time, pursuing a um, acting career. I think it's cause you know when you grow up not getting the attention that not wanted but needed, the attention that you needed, it kind of makes you live in your own world because the only person that you're giving attention to is yourself. And when you give all yourself your own attention, that's the definition of being selfish. So I've been very selfish my whole life, and hopefully, uh, the less I care about myself in a sense, not like in health wise or growth wise, but be more selfless. And I think so. I guess not getting the need and the attention from my parents has led me to where I am now with my personality, or when I was younger. So like when I was younger, I um because they never gave me attention, I wanted to please them so I can get some sort of reward, because I think when I was younger, I would do something good and then I would get their attention. But with Asian parents, and once you start failing, like not meeting your expectations even higher and higher, they, well, at least my parents, they kind of like went the other way. And, then the abuse came in, and 5 years later, I had a little brother. So I don't know if that's them like starting over, which is kind of funny to think about. But, what was I talking about? Expectations. Fuck, lost my train of thought. I'm always losing my train of thought. I don't know why. I think whenever I jump subjects, like I went on to my brother. So what was I talking about? Not getting the attention. Um, I'll just move on from here. Not getting the attention that I needed, so it made me into like a person who had to please everyone in order to get some sort of recognition, and that has became one of my downfalls later on, because especially in high school and then into my military career, all I really cared about was getting someone's recognition. So I did like sort of the best I can, but also being lazy, which is a weird thing to say. That's how that's how it worked though. Like all in high school, I figured out how to get by, right? I didn't try as hard as I could, because what was the point? No one was gonna give me any reward for it. That's a selfish thing to think about. That's what I'm saying is, of course, you want some sort of recognition, but you don't want it as the sole purpose of whatever you're doing. It's like being nice to people so you feel better or something. It's very selfish. You should just be nice to people just to be nice. Which I have learned over the years. Here we go again. Jumping subjects. Let's go back. Fuck. I lost my train of thought again. Um, Hold on. I can get there. Let me get there. What was I talk about? Something in the Navy and pleasing others. Yeah, so pleasing others. I'm still not there. I'm just trying to move on. The pleasing others have caused me to have. It's one of my, I would say, strengths and weaknesses. I don't know. I feel like there's like a specific word for that. If it's a strength and a weakness, like my strength and weakness is that I am willing to put others before myself, right? So that's in a good way, because let's say, um, I don't know, I'm doing you a favor, or just looking out for you, and stuff like that. I think it'd be good, but it's a bad way, because then I stop thinking about myself and stop taking care of myself and improving myself, instead of I would just help somebody else succeed before me. Like, if you say that in two ways, it could be good or bad. So I'm trying to change that. Um, okay, go back to the question again. What are you looking forward to that's happening soon? Let me think of else. I have nothing really planned that's happening soon. It could be. I mean, I guess I can't wait to just um after the holiday season. mean, I'm not even really waiting for the holiday season. I'm already doing it now. It's being more, um, just doing more for content. Like, uh, depending on when I edit this, this will be my third or fourth, probably third, um, part of this new series that I'm trying to start. It's called Funny Stories or Funny Talks. One of those Funny Talks. I kind of just want to. It's that I'll make like sort of my podcast because I've been wanting to do a podcast for a while, and this is kind of starting it. And like podcasts instead of live or something. That's why I like Twitch because being live on Twitch is fun and you get to interact with people. So it's kind of like a podcast, but when I don't have any views right now, even though I'm live, it's just I want to put stuff out there. So hopefully people can see it on other platforms because it's really hard to be discovered on Twitch. Like no one is gonna scroll all the way to the bottom to find someone who has 0 views versus they can watch whoever's on right now, but that has like at least 1,000 views. So I would put this stuff on YouTube. And then later on, I'll put more clips and stuff of my gameplay because I want to ultimately do more gameplay than just chatting. But I love just chatting too. Fuck. I moved on to another subject. Talking about after the holiday. Actually, no. I think I maybe should stop apologizing for just ranting. I mean, because I guess if I'm in a conversation with somebody else, I'm going to want to be able to stay on one subject. But my mind it just goes and I'll talk about a bunch of different things. Um, but I have a hard time like thinking of a subject to talk about, so I have to like look at objects. This is another reason why it was it still is hard for me to talk to other people, let alone girls. It's just like I can't think of really anything to talk about. I'm good at answering questions because I'll just start talking and talking. But if I get stuck and I don't think of anything, then I'm just kind of like, oh, whatever. Let's just stop, sit here, be awkward or something, and then I'll try to think of something else. But it doesn't. It's funny to think that way because when I took improv in LA when I was studying acting. The first time I studied improv was like it's sort of like an extracurricular. I was gonna say after school program. I mean it is an after school program, but it's weird to say that in a collegiate setting and after school. It's an extracurricular. Okay, so I was doing um an after school program of improv. Like I'm I've always been scared of improv before acting because like I told you I can't think on top of my head, and most of the what you realize about improv is that anything you say will be funny as long as it's right there in the moment. If you hesitate for half a second to think of something, um then everyone kind of goes out of it. You lost the reality of whatever the improv is. So, I mean, you can think, right? I that's definitely different than hesitating. Hesitating is just like you're stuck, like you're not even thinking, you know. But if you're in improv and you're thinking for a couple seconds, but as long as you're thinking, you know, then it's still in the scene of the crime or whatever. But yeah, my first time taking improv, it was really bad because I had that mentality of like, I have to make this funny, you know, like I have to think of something funny. But once you're out of it, you're out of it already, and everyone sees it, and it's like just say something, and it's true when you're doing improv, you kind of just say, you don't think, you just say whatever's on your mind, and you yes and everything. So then later on, a year later, when I went to my second theater school, I took improv again there, and I think because it was a little more relaxed, because the first teacher or professor, she was just like, "Sir, sir," like she was yelling at me, and I guess I don't do good under authority, not pressure. I work very well under pressure, but under authority, that's where I have a problem. Um, but then when I was in my second improv class at the second school, um, what's I gonna say? It felt more comfortable, and everyone around there, all the other students, like I knew we are all friends anyway. So, and we're all damaged people. I think that's what I love most about. Um, I say some actors, not all actors, because a lot of actors are just people looking for attention. But then there are creatives, right? That we all realize that we're just all people inside. We're all damaged somehow. Everyone's fighting their own battles, and we're all just mutually there for each other. Actors and musicians and like comedians. We're all the best ones are the most empathetic ones, I think. To me, well, that's in my view because I'm very empathetic and I like being empathetic towards others. Because just like this, there's no need to be mean to people. I'm just changing subjects again. Oh, stop apologizing. Okay, people are just being mean to each other, and I think for a long time, I remember one of my first tattoos I wanted to get. I still don't have any tattoos. I don't have any tattoos because I'm indecisive and non-committal. But tattoos. Yeah, one of my first tattoos that I was gonna get, it was gonna be the golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. And I said, and I think when I was like maybe in middle school or elementary school, I was basically bullied, for being Asian. It was kind of weird, but I think it kind of worked out for the better because even though I think what was it? There's an article or a little video that bounced around a couple years back how Boston was the most racist city in America, and like I mean I can kind of say that's true, but it's sort of in a good way because no one gives a shit who you are, and in a bad way obviously, but then the fact that when like you're just another person and it's not really racist. I think it's just because everyone here makes fun of each other. Um, no matter what race you are, no matter what sexual orientation or gender you feel like being, it's just everyone is gonna get made fun of. And if you, it's like a test. If you take it too seriously, then it's just like go fuck off, go live in LA. Because LA is. I'm gonna be honest. Living there, everyone is really sensitive to just not everyone, but like the whole woke culture there is kind of like I don't know. It's not. It's fun ish to like live in that world for a little bit, but then once you go back to the real world out here, like in Boston, it's just no one gives a shit. Like live your life. Who cares? And yeah, live your life. Live the life the way you want. And I think that's what it is here. It's just as long as you're not physically hurting someone, I can give two shits what you do. You can I don't know if you bought a car and you want to fucking drive it in the desert, wreck it, whatever. It's like you paid for it as long as no one gets hurt. I don't know. It's just shit like that. Just I think that's what America should be, but there are way too many people who are greedy, so they turn to violence, and that's the problem with human nature. But it's human nature, you know. Mm. That's another question. I have no clue where I've gone. I think that's a decent start to a rant. I think this one would be more funny talks than funny stories. Yeah, I think this would be a funny talks. Okay, but I'm gonna move on to Cyberpunk. Let me write that down though. I think funny talks would be better. I need to keep that note. Let's see. What's today's date? 12. Funny stories I'll edit later. Okay. Unless it's a story within my talk. I think I'll do that. I think it'll be all funny talks. But then within funny talks, it'll be funny stories that are like clips or of the whole podcast. Eventually, I think I will do longer. I guess the more if when I have someone else to talk to, it's or if I start really doing it by myself and do a podcast or whatever, I guess I can write down subjects and shit that I want to talk about. I know my brother, he wanted to do a podcast with me too, but we have a weird relationship. Um and I'm not sure how to fix it. Well, I have a weird relationship with my whole family anyway. I think like I said before, when I was very young, I was supposed to be so the way I look at it, right? I never asked them. I'm too afraid to. But I think when I was born, I was supposed to be their ticket out of the slums. You know, like out of the because when I was born, the first I think 7 years of my life, it was me, my mom, my dad, and my brother when I was 5. So he was 2 at this point. All 4 of us were living in a room, maybe even smaller than this room, at my cousin's attic. For 7 years, we lived like that, and that's all I knew. Um, and then at 7 years old, we moved out to basically our second home. It's within the same city, but this home was um basically it was a glorified garage. They converted a garage into a livable space for a family, a small family, and we were a small family. It's like physically we're all really short. Um, so we moved there. But basically, what I'm saying is, I think when I was born, I was supposed to be like the ticket out because they emphasize school a lot, and up until up until high school, I have these awards actually that I had perfect attendance from first grade to eighth grade. I had straight A's from first grade to eighth grade, so I was like the model student. And I passed the presidential fitness test. I'm not even sure if you guys do that anymore. Uh, yeah, I was I was a top student, and then high school came along, and this girl. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, being like the star child, you know. And once I hit high school, was that at 14 years old, whatever. Um, my brother is 5 years younger, so he was 9 at the time. And then once I don't know what happened, up until I was 14, like from 7 to 14, I don't know what happened there. I think I'm gonna have to go back and look through what happened in my life there to cause me who I am today, because all I did was school. And I'm pretty sure I remember a couple times where I got uh just doing bad stuff, you know? Cuz I made my first um basically good friend, close friend. I won't say his name because I don't know if he wants me to, but we hung out ever since we were little kids, like in second grade. Was second grade? uh 14 minus 6. I was 8 years old when I, like 7 or 8 when I met him, and we've been friends ever since. And I would hang out at his house, and I don't know, maybe I don't think he was a bad influence. I don't think he was a bad influence on me, but he was definitely an influence on me because he was an only child, and just seeing him like get whatever he wanted because his he was, I would say, more well off than I am. He's not like, his family is by no means fucking rich or anything, but they're like, compared to my situation, he's well off. Um, so what was I gonna say? Yeah, I hung out with him a lot, all the time. I was still keeping up with my grades. I was still attending all day, but I think seeing him get like whatever he wanted versus my life, where once my brother was born, he kind of got everything. I think that's what happened over those years. I just started getting jealous of my little brother because he was, uh, he was the new baby. Like everything that he, I don't know if this is true, but in my eyes, everything that he wanted, he got. And whenever I wanted something, nothing was, I didn't earn it, whatever. And I didn't do anything to earn it. Um, and I think that's what happened. They once This seems very similar to other like two child families, like, or even three. The youngest one kind of just, in my eyes, I don't know if it's true. I haven't talked to him about this, but he got away with everything, and I got in trouble for everything. So I think over time that kind of like, you know, gets into your head, and I haven't figured out how to. I mean, I probably have because I'm better now, and I don't hate my parents for it. I still have resentment towards my dad. Um, I don't know what that really is. I think I do know what it is, but let's stay in the subject of my brother for now. I think, yeah, just my brother. Um, yeah, he got away with everything, and I think that's what started making me, going back to what I was talking about, selfish, because I just had to do everything for myself because no one else was gonna do it for me. So, yeah, that's probably another reason why I joined the Navy and left. And even when I came back, I still moved out to LA. And going back to what I was talking about before, um, I want to be an actor because I just wanted attention. I just wanted someone to show affection. What's that meme? I just want to be appreciated. I don't know if that's it or not. It could be, but I don't know. I just know the more I talk out loud like this and kind of record it for myself, I learn things, you know. And I think that's another reason why I like streaming. It's just because I get a chance to interact with people without feeling judged face to face. I know you guys are judging me over the internet. Of course, everyone does that. You can do that. That's what the internet allows you because you don't ever see anybody face to face. But that's also a good thing because, like, obviously, I can feel your judgment whenever you're talking. I can see your judgment through your words, but seeing it in person is a different feeling. It provokes a different emotion. And I think that's what happens. Why you see most of the successful streamers that, um, well, okay, just off the top of my head, like Corpse and Dream, like they don't show their faces because it's the same thing. They don't want to be judged. They just want to live as a person, and everyone loves them for their personality, right? and then obviously they're gonna want to see their face, but at that point they're too. I understand why they don't want to show their face, because let's say they love them 100% for their personality, but let's say they show their face and society doesn't like it. You know how much that's gonna crush them? It's insane. It could, even though I would say, I don't know, 95% of the population or the following will love it because they love who they are and stuff like that. But then that 5% is what hurts the most, because not everyone's happy, and it reflects on you. And I don't know if that's just the way I think, um, but it is. It's like people who read just the negative comments under stuff. It's like, oh, okay, you're happy, you're funny, great, I love you, blah 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 blah. You're reading all that, and you get all those so much, right? And you kind of, I don't know, it's weird to say, like, you get used to the comments, and then once you see the one thing, it's like your nose is the ugliest thing ever. And you're just like, what? You think because all these people love you, and you read that one negative comment, you're like, fuck. And it makes you think, and you want to change your because you want that. You want 100% of everyone's love, and it's impossible. It goes back to what we were saying, how you want to please others before yourself, and it's a must learn to learn how to love yourself. You can still love others, but loving others before loving yourself is detrimental. It's sort of landed me to where I am at this moment now. Now I am 30 years old after living in LA for 3 years, in the military, San Diego for 5 years. I am living back in my parents' house. I'm in the bedroom that I had since I was, no. So we moved here 5 years ago. Um so yeah, and I lived in, for 2 years I lived in this room. And then 3 years in LA, and now I'm back here again. But yeah. Um okay, I really want to play some games cuz I kind of want to not think as much anymore. I probably will talk later and stuff, but I think that's enough for today. So, thank you for listening.